What's up, everybody, and welcome in to another edition of Big Men on Basketball. It is Monday, November 21st, 2022. We're in the final seconds of this United States-Wales game. I am looking up because the TV is above me. That should do it. That's a draw. Boom. Cash the motherfucking ticket. Let's go. How we do. I told you, this scream draw to me. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Bang, bang, bird gang. Let's go. Boom. We'll take it. But we're back. A new week, a new money. It's feast week. It's time to get into some hoops today, folks. We got a lot to get into. A very interesting card here as we delve in to Monday. It's not a normal Monday. A lot of people, the work, the stuff they're doing is not, they're not taking it too serious this week. We're ready for Thanksgiving. We're ready for turkey. We're ready for the holiday. Football. We got championship week coming up. We got the bowl games. We got all sorts of stuff. And we got a ton of college basketball. A lot of neutral site tournaments. Very few games are actually home road split. They're all neutral or semi-neutral or something. So make sure you understand, again, as I've said time and time again, make sure you understand what exactly you're betting into. Know where the games are. Know what's going on. Very important when you're looking at these cards. And let's just kind of delve right into it, guys. That's what we do here on this show. We delve right into it. If you're just coming in after watching the U.S.-Wales game, welcome in. I was able to make a little money on that one. Let's say hello to a couple of people. Kevin, he says, what's the best way to wager on soccer? Listen, bro, my advice to be research that. The best way to wager on soccer, that's kind of a wild question. Money lines, over-unders. You have to realize it's like baseball. Okay, you're going to have to lay a price or get a price back. You're not laying a point spread unless you're playing an Asian handicap. Asian handicaps get interesting because it's 0.25, 0.50, 0.75. You have to understand how you get paid. Okay, my advice is you have to do your research. Okay, do not just jump in to bet soccer because a lot of people bet soccer and they'll say, oh, I had, a game today. Let's say they bet the U.S. A lot of people will think today in about 5 minutes when they go look at their book, oh, I should have got my money back. No, it's a three-way line. Ties count as well. Okay, so if it's a tie, you lose. Okay, a lot of people don't realize that. You can bet a draw double chance. You can bet a draw no bet. You can bet all sorts of different things. Make sure you understand what you're betting. Okay, that's the most important thing when you're gambling. I do want to announce something very exciting, by the way. The Barstool Sportsbook is coming to Maryland as of Wednesday, and a little birdie told me Jeff Nadu might actually be at Perryville in Maryland. It's not that far from me. I actually have to make some bets. I'm thinking about going down to Perryville, showing some love. We'll see if the Stoolies are out. I might be at Perryville on Monday, or on Wednesday. So stay tuned. Right before Thanksgiving, why not take a little drive down to the great state of Maryland? All right, let's get into some college hoops. Please, if you're here, say hello. A lot of good people in here. Someone's saying Creighton 4 almost home. Yes, they're playing well. They look good so far. People forget Nadu was a sneaky Serie A guy. That is true. That is true. Thanks for the draw play. Got it at plus 250. Good. Glad to hear it. Caden Rutherford. Let's go, Jeff. Thank you, my brother. By the way, guys, I'm going to admit, unfortunately, I did not have time to get the games that I'm going to talk about today in the little thing I post. My apologies. I'll do it for tomorrow. By the way, we've got Jim Root tomorrow as well. He's going to join us here on a Tuesday. That should be fun. People always like when Jim comes on, so that'll be good. Let's jump into the games here. First game I want to get into is a Maui game. Okay, this one's going to come up in the 5 o'clock hour. We don't know exactly what time. We'd have to imagine probably around 5:15. You got Arkansas and Louisville. Now, coming into this game, why is Louisville in this tournament? Well, very simply because of name recognition. Louisville on the court, though, is not good. This is a mess. This is a very bad basketball team. And I got to be honest, I think Louisville could be the worst team in the ACC. I really believe that. This is a bad, bad basketball team. And what makes them so bad? Well, first of which, they really don't have any scorers. There's not much competent offense in this team outside of Ellis, dribble drive guy, create. But if you know anything about Arkansas, they're not going to allow that. They're not going to allow anything. They're not going to let you get into the teeth of the defense. What do we know about Arkansas, too? Full of legit athletes. They got bigs all around. They're long. They're lengthy. They're going to turn up the pressure on you. It wouldn't surprise me tonight if Louisville have 20-plus turnovers. I think it's going to get really ugly for them. This has the makings to me of – there was a game on Friday that I had a little involvement in, West Virginia and Penn. I'm not saying Louisville's pen, but it kind of strikes me as a game that Louisville just gets teed off on. I don't think Louisville's very good. I mean, they're not just barely covering games or losing against bad teams. They're losing some games they have no business losing. Hey, you can't lose to the caliber of teams that Louisville and Kenny Payne are losing to. I mean, when you're losing to Appalachian State, Bellarmine, even Wright State. I mean, Wright State put them in a fucking blender on defense. They had no idea how to guard that slashing motion stuff. I got to tell you, Arkansas is going to run the same shit. Now, there is a bit of a help here to Louisville. Nick Smith's probably not going to play, but there's still a ton of talent on this team. I got to tell you, if I'm looking at this game and wanting to bet it, I'd look at a team total under here for Louisville. I think Louisville really struggle to score this game. I really do. I think this is a game where not having competent guard play is going to do them in. And that's been a problem for, a lot of teams. We saw it last night with Oregon. You don't have competent guard play, you're going to lose. This is how it goes. And you have to identify those teams as we get into the season. There is one good guard that Louisville has, Ellis. But this Arkansas team is very good to combat that in this game. So for me, if I'm looking at this one, I'm leaning on Louisville having a lot of trouble scoring. And, essentially, I would probably have no problem laying the number if you like that as well. Sam Moon says, Nadu is always the GOAT. Thank you, Sam Moon. I appreciate that. Julian Cesario, love Jim. Great content as well. Thank you. Yes, he'll be here tomorrow. Sean Gross says, what's up? Hope to see you at Perryville. I might just be there on Wednesday. I'll have to let you know when. Sam Nevin said, any thoughts on Iowa minus 30.5 against Omaha? I know you're not a big Fran guy, but Hawks seem to cover big spreads with him. Well, yeah, listen, I'll tell you one thing I'm not a Fran guy in general, but I don't think we can disagree. His teams are great offensively. I think the thought of Omaha here is maybe they try to take the air out of the ball and not run with Iowa, which is something that probably bodes a lot better for them than running, where I think maybe they could hang in this game doing that. I would probably just, if I'm going to look at betting Iowa, why not just bet their team total overs? I mean, their offense is really good. I mean, we all know that. I didn't play this game. And as I've said time and time again, I will never be on the dogs in these games. I just won't. I'll either not bet them or bet the favorite. Someone's asking about UAB, South Florida. Okay, I've talked about South Florida. This is a bad basketball team. I mean, this is a group that has no business laying points. They're going to get blown out by good teams. And you look at this game tonight. I mean, not exactly a team I want to back against UAB. You have to be able to score with UAB. Now, the only shot in hell that they have, South Florida, is to make this game a crawl like they did with Auburn. Problem is, in the game against Auburn, they didn't have Keyshawn. They had Keyshawn Bryant. They're not going to have him tonight, South Florida. It's definitely a concerning spot if you're South Florida. I just don't think they have the guns to run with UAB. UAB is going to push pace. They're very deep. They're very cohesive. These are the kind of teams. This is one of the reasons I played UAB in one of the first games of the season. They were laying a big number. Had no problem laying it. UAB is a team that must be respected. This is a well-coached team under Andy Kennedy. They have one of the best players in the country in Jelly Walker. And going through 3 games so far, they're number 1 in America in possession length on offense. 13 seconds every possession. That is very quick. That is lightning quick. They go deep. Jamison, Gaines, Buffin, Davis. I mean, they have tons of talent here. You look at their experience, 6th in the country in D1 experience. Those are the kind of teams you want to back. And those are the types of teams you look at their scoring margins. Always very high at home. What does scoring margin mean? How often and how much are you winning by? At home, terrific. Terrific. So keep an eye on that tonight. This is a team, and like Tanner Brown saying, very astute point by him. You got to look at the type of transfers they're getting. Clemson, LSU, Ole Miss. They're not getting transfers from Presbyterian, or Gardner-Webb or Arkansas State. They're getting high-end transfers. And that's what Andy Kennedy can do for you. This is a team in South Florida that's lost. I think they're lost without a paddle. And I have again said this. I'm surprised Brian Gregory's still there, if I'm being very honest. Again, the only chance South Florida has in this game is to slow this game up, try to crawl through. But that's not going to happen because they're just too efficient, UAB. I think a team total and or just laying. I thought 16 might have been a little cheap here, to be honest. I mean, if this was 19, would you have any trouble laying it? I mean, does it really matter? To me, this has the makings of like an 82-60 type of game. I think they roll. Again, these are the types of teams you want to bet on when you're laying points. Teams that go fast, teams that are efficient on offense, they're deep. They can bring in another unit. I'm going to talk about another game tonight where a team can bring another unit in and take you to another level. We saw the other night with Arizona, the second and third units hurt them a lot. They didn't cover that game against Utah Tech because in the final minute and a half, they're up 35. They end up not covering 27 because of their third unit that came in. If I'm going to lay points with teams, I want deep teams where the second units that are in these games late, run it up. Run it up. That's what I want. Another game tonight that I actually bet. I like Syracuse tonight. I think this is a very good spot. I'm going to talk about Tarleton, another good spot, but I like Syracuse as well. I like this orange group tonight. Couple of things that I think they're going to exploit with this Richmond team. One thing about Richmond, last year under Chris Mooney, had a really good team. Grant Golden, Jacob Gilliard, really talented group. Okay. All gone now. All gone. You don't have those kids on the wing like you had, the Nick Sherrods. You don't have those kids anymore. They're gone. And now you look at what you have at Richmond. You have a team that shoots a lot of threes, but aren't making a lot of threes. And what that tells me is the motion on offense is not good. They're not taking good shots. They don't depend on their offense, and they don't believe in their offense, quite frankly. Right now, I think Richmond's has some real issues. And you know what Syracuse is going to do, guys? Everybody knows it. What are they going to do? Throw a zone at you. Go watch Wichita and how they defended Richmond. Richmond couldn't do anything. I mean, they could not score. And tonight, it's going to be a lot harder because Richmond's not going to have Matt Grace in all likelihood. This game's in Barclays Center. This Syracuse team, very solid. Judah Mintz, great player. They're a solid starting five. I really think this group's going to surprise some people this year. They always do. They don't have that offense that's totally predicated on Buddy Boeheim killing it. They have a couple of kids, Gerard, Mintz, Edward. They have a couple of kids that are really good, and they defend, really defend. This is the type of team that I just don't want to – I don't want to bet. I think Richmond's in a world of trouble tonight in this game. It's an identified matchup that I see with major problems. And what also do we know about Richmond? It doesn't matter what Mooney has. Defensively, they're not ever good. They can't guard. Their front court's not good. There's just a lot of issues that Richmond has. And I think they're exploited. We see occasionally where Syracuse will just kind of bury a team because they can't make shots on offense and the team can't defend. And Syracuse wins like 91-70 or something. I got a feeling tonight Richmond gets bum rushed. That's just what I think. I think this is an identified matchup that's concerning. If I'm only laying 4 here, I have some interest in this one. I would watch, guys. Watch yourselves at Wyoming tonight. I think a lot of people want to lay the 2.5 with Wyoming. They think this team, oh, BC sucks. They just lost last night to Tarleton by 20. Remember, guys, I'm not telling you shouldn't play Wyoming, but I think this team has a bit of an identity crisis right now. They don't have Graham Ike. They have everybody else, but without Ike, they've not looked like the same team. They look a little disjointed. Talent looks kind of all over the place. Now, I'm not going to run and tell you that I like Earl Grant and BC. I don't think they have a lot of identifiable talent, quite honestly, but this number seemed a little short to me. I think it's kind of goating you into taking Wyoming. I think, if anything, this game is close. I need a few more to get involved with Boston College, especially off a loss like that last night. I think you get a better effort from that group tonight, but watch yourself at Wyoming. Watch yourself at Wyoming. They have a penchant occasionally for not making their free throws. Things could get weird in this one. So watch yourself. I'm not telling you to bet on either side. I'm just telling you I would watch yourself. A game that I already bet, 7. I took Tarleton State. That said, I don't mind the 6.5 either. Listen, guys, Tarleton 4-0 against the spread. You look at why they are so good against the spread. They defend their asses off. They're a very hard team to prep for, and they are especially hard to deal with in tournaments like this. Because, again, what do we know? Quick turnarounds. Drake played last night. Now they play tonight. Very difficult. Very difficult. So for me, that's way too much for me. If you're going to give me 7, 6, if you gave me 4, I'd be on Tarleton. This team is very good in these types of spots. Billy Clyde, Billy Gillespie, great coach. They got a couple of hard-nosed guards. Shannon Bogues, terrific player. Very good basketball team. They have taken Arizona State to the cleaners. They blew out BC last night. Had them over the weekend against Belmont, won that game. It's a good basketball team, guys. They're going to be a team to keep an eye on down the road, because if they can find a way, I think they're eligible in March. Finally, I have to look, but there was a team last year that I backed, and Canes Nation's talking about New Orleans. I'll back them again in conference play, but this Tarleton team really liked this group, as well as Bryant. I like both these teams, but Tarleton very tough to deal with. And remember, in Division I play, since they've come to Division I, Tarleton State 11-5 against the spread in non-conference games. Very good in these kind of spots. Remember last year against Michigan? What about Gonzaga? Hung around all them games. I like this Tarleton team. I played them tonight. Sounds like a little sprinkle on the Tarleton money line to me. Yeah, I could see it. I'll take the 7, but I'm good with whatever you want to do. They knocked down threes too. Yeah, that's another thing. This is a very solid basketball team. I think this is a team that all year is going to cover numbers. And I don't think a lot of people know who they are. But we'll keep them secret to us, right? That's what we want. They're going to speed you up. They're going to get to the free throw line. Just a good, fun team to root for. Shout out Freddie Hicks. Great player at Tarleton State. Tarleton is your new New Orleans this year. Very profitable. We'll hope so. 4-0 so far against them. I think I've been on them every game, to be honest. I think I've been on them every game. What up, Lucky? What's up, my friend? How are you, pal? Good to see you. Shout out North Philly. Cleveland Street in the building. Love it. G&D, what up? Shout out to my people. Lucky, you know I'm good everywhere, right? Remember that time we met on Dolphin Street? You remember that? You remember after the Temple game? Remember that? Belly the Beast, the back block. You know what's up. Shout out to Lucky. Good man right there. It's my boy. Julian, my man, thanks for being here. What do you think about Bellarmine plus 23.5 against Duke? I think it's too many points. Generally, teams like Bellarmine get exploited against teams like Duke. Just my opinion. I think maybe there's a shot at an over just with how Bellarmine plays, kind of the toughness to that offense and trying to stop it. They run a really interesting offense down there under Scott Davenport. So I think if anything, maybe just take a shot that they can score some points and get this one over the number. I think Duke is going to have major success on offense, which is generally what happens. Now, people will say, well, they beat Louisville. Louisville's way different than Duke. I hate to tell you. Cole Steigelman is talking about under 144 in San Diego State Creighton. Yeah, I was going to get to that game. I got to be honest. I was surprised to see that total so high. But there's a reason this number's high, isn't it? Isn't there? Here's what I'll tell you about Ohio State. They're going to have a lot of issues in this game. And one of the reasons I agree with you, Cole, they're going to have a lot of trouble. I don't think they have the guard play. Again, guard play, guys. Ohio State doesn't seem real confident right now in their guards. You also ask yourself, Zed Key. I think he has a lot of issues against Mensa. Mensa's as good as it gets on the block. Good defensive player, Nathan Mensa. And that Brian Dutcher system, folks, I know you're going to hear about Houston and Texas Tech. Brian Dutcher is one of the best defensive coaches in America. He just is. He comes from the Steve Fisher tree. They defend. They defend. And I'll tell you what, I like the makeup of this team this year, San Diego State, a little bit different than last year because it seemed like Matt Bradley had so much on his shoulders. This year, it's a little different. You got Darian Trammell. You get some other players that can add in here, right? So you don't have to worry as much about if Bradley makes shots. This seems a little bit more balanced this year, which I love. I think Ohio State, you're right. They are young. I don't like their guard play. It seems like Holtman isn't really that enamored by them either at this point. And again, you don't have your Liddell type of player on this team. You don't have Zed Key, still a young kid. Mensa can school him on a block if he's not careful, especially defensively. So I agree. I guess this was a whole thing for me for me, this is like an auto bet that I would probably make, Cole, where if I see a total from San Diego State in the 140s, I'm going to lean under. I guess something problematic here to me that comes up is just that this one just gets like kind of out of control from a foul standpoint or something. And you you just kind of this one finds its way over or something. I don't know why. Something tells me something weird happens here because this total just seems too high to me. If I'm making this total, I'm making it 136, maybe 138, if anything. But I think San Diego State has a lot of trouble. Maybe what you do here, Cole, and this is an idea. Maybe you just throw out the total. Don't worry about it. What is one thing that's likely going to happen here? Ohio State's going to have some issues early in this game, dealing with the pressure, dealing with that defense, a young team against a strong defensive group. Maybe you look at San Diego State first half here, -2.5. That could be something I have my eye on here, maybe. Creighton looking good right now. Yes, they are. They are looking good. And I'll tell you what, I'm not surprised by it either. This is a team in Creighton that seems to be going to right a lot of wrongs. And I'll tell you what, if they play this good defensively against every team, they're a top 5 team. Because on offense, they are going to score. I mean, they're good every night. This is a really well-coached team, and they're starting to buy into defense. You remember the teams under Doug McDermott when they had him there. They didn't really play defense. They were up and down, a lot of good offense. This year they're defending, which is huge. That's big. You hold Texas Tech to, 60-ish. That's impressive. Win by double digits in all likelihood. That's what you want. Mike Sturgevich, Nadu's won me over. Keep up the good work, my G. Thanks, bro. Glad to have you here. Welcome in. Sam Moon, will Mississippi State smash Marquette? I'll tell you what, you know a team that's quietly playing some great basketball? Mississippi State. And they are starting to shut up, and they do. I thought this team was in the bottom 3 of this conference. I really believe so. And they may still be. I don't know. So let's remember, they've beaten a lot of bad teams the last couple of games. But I'll tell you what, that first game was impressive, the way they beat Akron the way they did. I'm high on Akron. I like that group a lot. You look at how they're coached. They're a great coach team. They have Freeman, who's terrific. Ali, who's terrific. They blew out Western Kentucky today. Blew them out. That's a good win. What do we know about John Groves? He completely coached circles around Stansbury, which is what happens. Stansbury is a bad coach. He's a bad coach. If Western Kentucky had John Groves, they could go to the Sweet 16 every year because they get talent there. Rick Stansbury sucks. He's a shitty coach. That said, will Mississippi State smash Marquette? Yeah, because I'll take Jans all day over Shaka. Tolu Smith, he looks like a possessed dude, man. He is on fire to start a season. DJ Jeffries, they're deep too now. They're not just going with a couple of guys. It seems like, and this is what we talk about, guys, with coaching, hiring the right guy. I want to give a big shout out to Mississippi State. That is a damn good hire, man. That's a damn good hire. They did some really, like the Ben Hallen years were just kind of average. Great hire. This is a winning program. They're going to be a winning program. Will they smash them? Yeah, I would definitely lean State here. They've been a great bet to start the season. Not one that I really had much involvement with. I don't really have a lot of success with Marquette, either on or against. So I kind of just avoid. You never really know how a team's going to deal with that, though, too. That press, Marquette's going to kind of throw something at them here. And again, Marquette is the best team so far that Mississippi State's going to play. So now that you're challenged a little bit, how do you deal with that? Because remember, guys, whether we saw Akron shake out the way it did or not, if you guys remember, Akron was winning the game with about 17 minutes to go. Mississippi State went on this run where they just, I think they had it was like a 28-7 run or something. It was crazy. And the game was a lot further ahead. But for 25 minutes, I thought Akron was really good. And they were winning the game. So at what point, now you're facing even tougher competition here? I don't want to say that Mississippi State's a paper tiger because I don't think they are. I think they're a good team. I love Tolu Smith, but this could be a concerning spot against Marquette because, again, they're going to turn up the pressure on you. And this is a leveling up, if you will. But we'll see. I'll be interested in seeing how Jans deals with this tonight. I'm really interested in that. Caden Rutherford, my man. What's up, brother? Another win for the Texas Christian Horned Frogs this week. I had them Baylor +2.5, so I was able to cover. But I was drunk at a party on 4 a.m. talking about Tarleton State. Wow. Legend. Love it. We up, Nadu. What up, brother? Thanks, Just Therapist. Welcome in. I already talked about that game, my friend. I'm in Maryland. I'm going to place my first bet. Do you trust UAB and Cuse enough to sprinkle them in a parlay? UAB is a 16-point favorite, bro. What? A parlay? Are you talking about laying the points? I hope sprinkle them. I'm not sure what you mean. You just want to bet them in a parlay, both teams? Sure. I don't have any issue with that. I don't really play parlays much, but sure. I already talked about that one. Any thoughts on Arizona, Cincinnati? Yeah. So let me get into this one. This number opened 10.5. It's now 9.5. Why is that? Arizona State on the surface is much better, aren't they? But you know what? There's a great coach on the other sideline. His name is Wes Miller. He used to coach at, where did he coach? Greensboro. Turned it up. Great guard play. Isaiah Miller, kid he had there. Very good defender. Something tells me this game's close. I don't know why. I don't trust it because if Cincinnati runs their off or Arizona runs their offense, they'll destroy Cincinnati in the half court to me. I don't know. I'm not playing it. It's a weird game, especially the numbers have been bet down too. It's interesting, man. It's an interesting game. I also don't like Kirk Crease so much, to be honest. So I'm kind of stung on this one. Nadu picks winners for winners. The rest pick losers for losers. That's why the rest drag him. So what if he brain farts picks he made but never gave out? Well, listen, man. Thank you for the $5 super chat. Thank you for the kind words. Listen, I just do my thing. I think there's a lot of good gamblers at Barstool. They all do it in a different way. We all have our pluses and minuses, man. So thanks for the $5, man. Appreciate your love. Appreciate you. I like Duke tonight. Whitehead is back. Offense will be dominant. Yes, they will. Yes, they will. And Bellarmine's not going to put up any sort of wall or anything. Mercer's only +7 against FSU. Yeah, FSU's been Louisville-like as well. If you want to lay 7 with FSU, be my guest. I ain't going to be doing it. Ohio State offense looked horrible. Stay away, team. Or you can just bet against them. Will Arizona be able to control the pace and get what they want? No, like I said, I think this game kind of gets controlled a little bit. I think Cincinnati kind of hangs a little bit. JT, is it true Jersey Jerry owns you? Are we still doing this? There's a couple of people that still do this. It's very odd. Just because Jersey Jerry and I literally, he'll tell you this himself. Jerry and I, the night of the fight, literally, after the fight upstairs in the hotel, he came and knocked on my door and we shook hands. And we've been good ever since. We did it right after the fight, actually. You can watch it. He comes up to me and we hugged. That was done. We were done from there. And from then on, Jerry's good in my book, and I think I'm good in his. We don't, exactly like talk to the same people, but when I see Jerry, like Jerry had the eye, he got Drano in his eye, sent Jerry a text. He responded, "Thanks, man." I have no ill will against Jerry, and neither does he against me, I don't think. I don't know why certain fans, stoolies, like try to still think there's beef there. I have no beef with Jerry at all. At all. In fact, I think his content's very funny. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure why certain stoolies want to like start fights about certain people. I have no beef with Jerry. And we've talked on Stoolie Clubhouse about that. We've talked pretty openly about that. I think for you, man, you're just looking to start fights with people, and we're not gonna. I don't think we're really gonna go after it or anything. Tyler Smith, Minnesota and Cal Baptist battles a game time decision. If he plays, that's a nice line. Yeah, I think it's all about leveling up. I will say, though, I like Cal Baptist. Croy's a good coach, and he has a couple of good offensive players there. I bet them a couple of times last year. But, yeah, this type of competition, leveling up, I'd like to see Battle play if I'm going to play it. But, yeah, I don't know if they should be a dog at any level. Big Ten against WAC? Yeah, no way. What's up, Ryan W? How you doing, buddy? Any thoughts on Drexler? The player? Very odd question. I don't know what you're asking me there. Maryland's been a big surprise so far. I was going to bring them up. I'm glad you did. Great point. I got to tell you, they've been very good. That was impressive what they did over the weekend. You talk about a team that's defied expectations, Maryland. Very surprising. If you're asking me about a surprising team, I want to talk quickly about Temple St. John's tonight. Temple's playing St. John's. Couple of things here. St. John's going to turn the pressure up like Wagner did. And Temple had a lot of trouble against Wagner with pressure, i.e., like St. Louis had with Memphis, like UCLA had with Illinois. When you could turn that up, that's going to be a concern here. Throw in the fact that, what is the battle thing going on with McKee? I've heard through the grapevine there's a little beef there. He only played 19 minutes against Vandy. I don't know what that's all about. I don't know. This is a weird one to me. I don't really buy much into Temple's win over Rutgers due to the fact that Mulcahy didn't play, McConnell didn't play. Kind of, again, I think Rutgers, you kind of give a little pass there just because I don't, Temple plays down a competition, but always seems to play up against good competition. And then you could say, well, Temple beat, Villanova. So, but is Villanova that good? So it's, for whatever reason, I lean St. John's here at this current number. I think it's 3.5. Julian Cesario. Thank you, Julian. $9.99 super chat. Showing love to the channel. Showing love to this show. Remember, when the powers that be see this, they'll see money coming in from they do. I'm adding to the bottom line, Dave. You like that? By the way, would anyone buy a Mr. Steal Your Broad shirt? Would you buy that merch, guys? I think it needs to go on a shirt at this point. No? I mean, I don't know. I'm trying to find things that stick. Put a 1 in the chat if you would buy that. Creighton easy. Support the content. Thank you. Yes, Creighton rolled. I talked about that game on the spaces I did earlier. Chris Polocha says, this is a much-watched show at 4 o'clock Eastern. So much good info. Thank you. Yes, I just talked about that game. Marshall's been flying over the number ATS outside of a fluke game at Queens College. Yes, and remember, Queens goes up and down. So, Marshall plays Chicago State tonight. I don't disagree with you, Anthony Montanaro. And remember, like I said, the Queens game is just an up and down pace fest, right? That's kind of an outlier game. Agreed, Lloyd Mass. Agreed, completely. Yarksdale Dale. Yeah, well, this is one of the worst comments in the history of basketball. You're an idiot, dude. I mean, you got to realize and understand basketball at all. State is playing good now against lower-level teams. Tolu won't be able to dominate the same in SEC play. Right. I think that, like I said, I still believe that they're not going to be an upper echelon team in the SEC. I mean, completely. I agree there. But they played well start the season. Tyler Horning says, thoughts on what the line versus Purdue, West Virginia will be Thursday. Mountaineers surprising some folks early in the year against some cupcakes. $4.99. Thank you, brother. Thanks for donating, man. I always enjoy the donators. I don't know. I mean, I'll be honest. I'll be on West Virginia, whatever the number is, because West Virginia is going to be a dog. So I'll be on them. I think that's a great spot for WVU. Shout out to Huggy Bear. Playing well. What are they going to do? Turn the tempo up. Can Braden Smith beat it? Maybe. But I'll tell you what, I think West Virginia is a little bit more able to deal with. You're not going to shut Edey down, but doing something against him. Why do I have a feeling Huggy Bear is going to have something? They haven't played in a while, right? I don't think they play again until Thursday. Last game they played was against Penn. They'll be a dog. Probably 3-point dog. I would take them. Alex Wander says, Reegs overreacting to an early season Kentucky loss, a tradition unlike any other. No comment on that. All right. Arizona wins by 25. You might be right. I didn't play that one. Man, this guy, he's obviously just talking crap. FSU Brando says facts. Yeah, sorry, bro. You're an FSU Brando for a reason. I know you're an FSU guy. But yeah, they're not good. They're not good. Thoughts on Johnny's Temple. We talked about that one. Arkansas against Dreadful Ellis. Louisville. Yep, talked about that one. A lot of ones in the chat. Couple ones. We'll take it. We'll see if people buy them. Who knows? Just coming up with some ideas, Thank you. What else do we have tonight? I feel like I've kind of went through most of the games I wanted to get into. What are your plays tonight? I don't hear Tarleton State. Well, you turn your fucking volume up. I said Syracuse as well. Those are two I like. What do you think about Hampton, UC Santa Barbara? The lines are moving down. Yeah, I don't understand that. Hampton, I don't like. I'm actually a big Santa Barbara guy. I think in the Big West, they could actually be one of the better teams. They always get pretty good talent out there. That's one thing about the Big West. I'm not a big West guy. I don't bet a ton of Hampton either. But yeah, they're not a good team. They generally struggle to defend. I wouldn't have any interest in Hampton in that spot. Do I have any thoughts on Duquesne, North Florida? Well, look, I've talked about this before. North Florida, it's really all depends on if they can make threes or not. It's pretty simple. They shoot like a ton of them. They want to shoot as many as possible. So, I would look into the outliers on that. Duquesne's 3-point defense. I love their guard play. Probably shouldn't have any trouble. I think they're laying under 10 in that game. I would lean Duquesne for sure. Can you unblock me on Twitter? I was out of line. What did you do? Any plays on Cardinals 49ers on Monday Night Football? I actually played the Chargers last night. I would lean St. Louis. I would lean Arizona. A lot of points. Insulting someone who didn't hear the whole stream is a great way to make fans. Who did I insult? What did I insult, Brock? What did I say? I don't know what you're getting at there. Do you expect Zoney to keep pushing the pace and hitting threes against Cincinnati? 190, 159 seems a bit low. Yeah, but remember, dude, they're pushing pace against teams that aren't very good. Cincinnati's not going to play their game. So, yeah, I would have to imagine they're going to kind of turn it up a little bit. And by the way, Brock, I didn't disparage you. I clearly said I'm on Syracuse. So, and generally I bring up the plays at the end of the show. Thoughts on Utah, Georgia Tech? I don't have any. No, neither team I'm interested in. Louisville team total under 61. I played 62.5, small. So, but yeah, I think they really struggle. There you go. The sit down 777 to get unblocked. Yeah, make sure you subscribe to our podcast, The Sit Down, a crime mystery podcast. But I'd like to know what that individual did. I would like to know what he did. I made fun of your stature. Well, good luck. Enjoy yourself in the fucking block list. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, guys, listen, I'm really not that short. I know some people think I am. I'm not. I promise. I'm not 5'4" or 5'5". I promise. I wouldn't lie to you. I am 5'8". Next time I go to the fucking doctor, I'll have them take a picture. I'll do that. Matter of fact, when I'm at Barstool on Monday, I'll do that. I'll have someone measure me as far as pause, not measure me that way, measure me this way. And we'll see how tall I actually am. That'll be good content. Joe, that'll be good content, right? Your mic's off.
Yeah, I said that would be funny.
That would be good content, right?
Yeah.
You see me in person too. I'm short, but I'm not like 5'2".
No, I mean, you're taller than Jerry. So whoever was chirping about Jerry earlier.
Good point.
Taller than Jerry.
And we're not chirping Jerry. I'm just taller than Jerry.
No, it's just facts are facts.
Yeah. I think we all saw that at the Cyber Monday last year. By the way, speaking of Cyber Monday, I now know what we're doing for Cyber Monday. It's going to be fun. Trust me. Barstool always dazzles on Cyber Monday. So stay tuned to that coming up on Monday. Barstool Stuff says, if you had Michael Franzese on the sit down, what episode? If not, will you try to get him on the sit down? But yeah, I've actually emailed him. I'm working on it. Guys, I'm actually working on an interview with a Hollywood star. I'm trying to make it happen. I'm talking to those people. We'll see if he'll do it.
Is that who I think it is that you told me about earlier?
Put it in the private chat.
Some DMs getting exchanged.
Put it in the private chat. No, bigger than him.
All right.
No, I could get him at any point. He's a friend. It's just about getting him on at some point. But no, a big star. I'm talking about a big movie star. Everybody loves him. We'll see. I'm trying. Yeah, I'm not that short. I'm not 6'5", but unfortunately, guys, there's nothing I can do about my height, right? I can't control that, unfortunately. I guess I could break my legs and stretch myself, but I'm not going to do that.
That's good content.
True. You know what else would have been good content? Get knocked in the fucking leg by Molly Meatball. But it seems as if after a viral tweet Saturday. Guys, listen, here's the thing about the difference between me and some of you people like John Collins. Let me tell you the difference, Joe. You want to hear the difference between me and John?
Hit me.
Is I have no shame. I will post videos and have a great time. I don't care. I have no shame. And that's why I went viral, because I don't care. I'll take a video, film. I love Gasolina. I love that song.
Well, it played for you too. Dave retweeted it. He even said, he's like,
right. How could you be mad at this guy?
How can you be mad at this guy?
How could you be mad at a dude like me? I go out, I have fun, I enjoy my life now. It's funny because I used to get my balls broke because I didn't go out. Now I go out, you fucking loser, go home.
Nah,
Can't win on here.
I don't
try to win. I just try to win in life. All right. What did you play in the Monday night game tonight?
The under. So anytime, I think the stat is something like 67%, something like that. Whenever there's in the NFL anyway, I think this year and last year, whenever there's a line that's -9 or bigger, the under's hitting almost like 2/3 of the time, something like that. So
you're just hoping for San Francisco to kind of blow them out. Is that what you're thinking?
I think that's what's going to happen. I think they're just going to run away and hide. This just feels like a game. I don't see Colt McCoy keeping this too close. I think they can keep it within a touchdown. This just feels like home cooking, maybe a weird game. But I'm playing the under in this one. I think both teams struggle a little bit in the beginning, and there's just not enough points to be scored. It's prime time. Prime time, we don't get points this year.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I didn't play it, but yeah, I think that's a great defense that San Francisco has. By the way, I know everyone hoped to see it, but they didn't. Eagles won again. Just bounced right back. Didn't play well. Found a way. And that's what championship teams do. And now we got to hear all fucking week about how great Dallas is. Hey, Dallas, thanks. We need you to beat the Vikings, and you did. And now the Eagles are solely in first place in the NFC, and nobody's really worried about anybody else.
No.
And wait till Christmas, you beat Cooper Rush. Everybody loved Cooper Rush until the Eagles shut him the fuck down. And then all of a sudden, it's Cooper Rush. Bring Dak back. Yeah. Shut him the fuck down. All of a sudden, now everybody hates Cooper Rush. Would you ever get Ramon DeSante on? Yeah, I would love that. He's one of my favorite actors, so absolutely. We'll see, though. You've been betting any college hoops?
I haven't started dabbling yet. So you made a good point with you like to play it slow coming in. I did play Michigan State this past weekend versus Nova, and that became a sweat and a loss at the end. But I like to ease into college hoops. There's just so many variables. Teams change so much year over year. So I ease my way in so that way I can start feeling really good January, February, March. Yeah,
as I've said many times, I only play half units until basically Christmas. So
yeah.
What's your favorite basketball team of all time? College and pro. I'll give you both. My favorite pro team of all time is the Sixers, the one that went to the finals. I mean, George Lynch, Tyrone Hill, Aaron McKee, Jermaine Jones, AI, Matt Geiger, Tom McCullough. I mean, Rajah Bell. I mean,
Mutombo,
Kevin Ollie. Yeah, how can I not? Yeah,
team was great.
I'll always love that team. I was a young whippersnapper. I was 12 years old. I fell in love with that team. As far as basketball, I have two. My favorite two teams ever. Same year, Philadelphia, Temple University had Lynn Greer. Great team. Love that team. They went to the Elite Eight. One of John Chaney's best teams. John Chaney is my favorite coach ever outside of John Thompson. They're the legends of this group. And without those two, I think college basketball coaching is just not the same. And we lost both of them recently, and they're both legends. If you guys don't know about John Thompson, the kind of coach he was, look it up. Legend, truly. This is a guy, Joe, I've told this story before. There was a drug dealer in Washington, Rayful Edmond. He was making like $1 million a month selling crack. He used to go to Georgetown basketball games and sit courtside. He started hanging out with the players. Eventually, Thompson got wind of it. Lonzo Mourning started hanging out with this guy. Thompson gets on the phone and says, "Get Rayful Edmond in my office now, today."
Really?
And they said, he ain't ever coming in. He's a drug dealer. He doesn't care about what you think. They call Rayful Edmond and said, "Yo, coach wants to see you." Rayful Edmond thought, "Oh shit, coach wants to see me. That's a big honor." He said, someone in the office said, Rayful Edmond walked in, coach walked him into the room, shut the door, and he said you could hear him fucking 10, 20, 50 feet away. He was screaming for like an hour at Rayful Edmond saying, "Stay the fuck away from my players. If I ever see you around them again, don't be here." And he didn't give a shit. He told him, "Stay the fuck away." And Rayful Edmond never came to another game after that.
Wow. And, I didn't know he did that.
Oh, yeah. And remember, I mean, he was the guy. Without John Thompson, we wouldn't have had Allen Iverson. Allen Iverson took a shot on him. He took a shot on him. Allen Iverson did almost 2 years in prison, and Iverson went to John and said, can you help my son? He took a shot. Kid went to Georgetown, became the #1 pick. He's a legend. I'm telling you. Same with John Chaney. I wrote a blog about John Chaney. He has done so much for kids that a lot of people never took a chance on. Aaron McKee is a prime example. Aaron McKee was a Prop 48 player, didn't have the grades to play anywhere. He brought him in, tutored him, helped him out. Aaron McKee, look at him. And without John Chaney, Aaron McKee wouldn't be Aaron McKee. He helped the young.
That classic video, still one of my favorite videos of John Chaney getting into it with him.
He would have knocked Calipari the hell out.
Oh, Calipari just putting him right in his place, the scumbag that Calipari is.
Yeah. They don't make coaches like that anymore.
No.
I mean, and I think we miss them. Like we missed coaches like that because they took shots on kids that really had nothing else. And that was one of my favorite teams. There was also a St. Mary's team. This is really nerdy, Ryan. I think it was 2012. They beat Villanova. They were a 10 seed. They had a kid, Omar Samhan. Delvedova was on that team. I love that team as well. But we are talking too much, guys. I'm going to wrap this thing up. Kind of a fun card tonight, man. A real fun card. LeBron or Kobe. It's funny. I've said this before, and I know you know where I'm going with this, Joe. When I was a kid, I was 12 years old, and like I said, the Sixers had the Lakers in that finals. And Kobe said to Philly, he said, I'm going to rip their heart out.
Yeah.
I remember telling my dad, I said, why would he say that? He's from here. And I hated Kobe when I was a kid. I couldn't believe he said that. And as I got older, and I talked about this when he passed away, I talked about how I grew to love him for how great of a player he was. I think Kobe is so likable, at least to me. LeBron's just not likable. I think on the court, I love them both, but I like Kobe more. That 81-point performance, that last game he had, go watch that game. That last
63,
game,
right?
This is nuts. He literally brought them back to win the game. I mean, they were losing. They had no shot. It was crazy.
Yeah, and LeBron's just so corny. Everything about him is just so corny.
Very unlikable.
He just wants to be loved so bad that it makes it hard to like him.
Yeah, and he does a lot of hypocritical shit. Like when he was saying they didn't know who Migos was before I brought him around. It's like, shut up, dude. They weren't even famous then.
Yeah.
What else? Mark Macon. Yeah, he was on that Temple team as well. Sure. Thoughts on Cal getting out-coached this year? He gets out-coached a lot of years. He's a good recruiter, but that's about it. One more comment here. 3 things: your personal life, your private life, and your public life, John. Yep. Very true. Very true. Yes, that's probably the greatest press conference of all time. I remember it was 2000. That was the same year or right after. Yeah, Allen, they don't make people like him, man. I mean, he would get drunk at Tropicana in Atlantic City, and then the next night he'd go drop 50. Just legend. Puking in a trash can. They don't make him like him.
He was I think I watched almost every single Sixers game when he was playing. Just every night it was appointment television, and it would be awkward. It would just feel weird if he didn't score 24 plus every night. He was just
Last story I'll give you about the young Nadu. I think it was 90. What was it? It was 2000. It was the year before the Sixers went to the finals. Iverson was in his bag. I mean, he was the guy. He was Philly. I was 11 years old. My mother and father said to me, we're going to Disney World. I had no interest. None. I wasn't that kind of kid. I want to stay home and watch basketball. I don't want to go to fucking Disney World. My brother and sister were young, whatever. I remember specifically the Sixers played the Magic one night in Orlando. My dad wouldn't take me again. I said, we're at Disney World. Take me. We're not that far away. And I pleaded with my parents. I don't want to go to Epcot tonight. I want to watch this game. They made me go. I had a fucking camcorder. You know those old camcorders?
Oh, yeah.
I literally tried to set it up in my hotel room where my parents were to film the game so I could watch it over again because we were in a hotel room. I did not want to go out. I was against it. I want to watch this game. I remember that night Allen dropped 60.
I was going to say, was that the 60 night?
Yep. It was like a legendary performance. Like a February game.
I watched every moment of that game.
Yeah. I was 10 years old. I fell in love with basketball in 2000, 2001. And then I got into in 2003, I was a little older. I was big into the M1 mixtape tour. I remember going to the M1 mixtape tour 2003, Wells Fargo Center.
I had that video game on PlayStation. You'd be like Hot Sauce and Half Man, Half Amazing.
Yeah.
That shit was awesome.
I remember I sat up top and watched. It was the year that Professor was there. They did the ESPN Streetball show.
Yep.
Or like they had Professor come in and he like, it was like a street ball idol, and he like tried to like win a job. It was awesome. Yeah, I fell in love with that stuff. That's where I fell in love with basketball, and that's why I'm big men on basketball now. All right, I'm out of here, guys. I got to go work out. I didn't even get to it earlier. I got to go out in the. Is it cold out still?
It's freezing out. It was freezing out this morning. I do the 6 a.m. workout. So outside it's like 22 degrees.
I usually work out from like 2:45 to like 3:30 ish, and then I get a shower and I do the show. But I had a fucking call come in and I didn't get around to it, so now I got to go out and do it. But all right, guys, I'm out. Joe, good talking to you as always. You like the under tonight in the football?
I do like the under tonight.
All right.
I think I got it 44.5, I think, or 45.5, one of the two. Whatever I got. I placed it this morning.
For me in college basketball, I like Syracuse -4, and I got Tarleton +7 against Drake. You guys all have a good night. If you need me, you know where to find me, at Jeff Nadu on Twitter. You can follow Joe Pops where?
At Joe Pops _.
Cool. We got Jim Root on tomorrow, 3-man weave. That'll be fun as we get ready for little holiday hoops. And then, oh, by the way, show note, guys. I don't stop, and I know Joe may not even be here. I will be on Thursday. I'm going to be on at 11 a.m. I will be here. Holidays don't turn me away. We still got to make money, okay? Just because it's a holiday don't mean nothing. I'll probably be the only person at the company doing a live show, but I'll be here with bells on. So make sure you join me. I'm out. I'll see you all later. Joe, see you tomorrow. Thank you. And see all of you later. Bye-bye.